Coach Bob with you today, and today we are out on Haskell, my little 2019 SV650X. This is a great little motorcycle. I've been asked a ton of questions about it. You know, it's funny. You know, I'm mainly known as a Can-Am Spider guy. The channel has well over 5,000 subscribers now. And, you know, it's one thing to have 5,000 subscribers that all have an expectation of you, and then all of a sudden you're doing something a little out of the ordinary. And I understand that that is probably not the best business model. However, I have a passion for all things motorcycles, and this is the Coach Bob 3 channel. So without further ado, let's talk about Haskell, the 2019 SV650X. First, let me start by saying this. You can ride an SV650. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how big you are. I mean, there are exceptions, but let's just talk about, you know, basically, if you're a normal person with a normal lifestyle and reasonable health, you can ride this motorcycle. The biggest question I've been asked is, Coach, you're a pretty big guy, and this is from, you know, folks who know me. I'm 6'2", and depending on the time of year, I weigh 200 pounds, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. So we'll just say my range is from 185 to 215. And I would say that that occurs probably every couple of years. That sounds crazy, but I'm just being honest. Just being honest. Roads are a little wet. I don't want to get too aggressive. I'll end up on my keister. But then again, we want to ride a little bit. So, you know, there's a lot of talk going on right now online about turning, but we'll leave that to the professionals. So, is the SV650, is it too small for a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound rider? And the answer is no, it is not. We'll go ahead and let the cat out of the proverbial bag. I've ridden this bike. Coming up, I'm at 989 miles. I'll have 1,000 on it before this ride is over. I don't put near as many miles on this motorcycle as I would like to. I love this bike. In fact, I will say that when I go into the garage, this bike calls my name a lot, as do my other rides as well. So that might be a little unfair. But as a 6'2" rider on a smaller motorcycle, I liken it to a circus bear on a tricycle. Not really. It's really not that bad. I have seen pictures of me on it, riding on my track day. If you check out, I'll drop a tag up in the video right here. It's called Coach Bob is a Goat. That's geezer on a track, not the greatest of all time, by the way. As a 6-decade-old young boy, that's right, I'll soon be 60 and I'm still a boy as far as I'm concerned. I love riding, I love playing. But I don't think that as a 6-foot-tall man, that is a big guy, I don't think I looked ridiculously large on it. And the bike performed well with me on it. So I see guys riding Groms, so I don't really see the hassle or the problem. Man, it is wet out here. My, look drier this way. I think a rainstorm came through this, going in that direction. We had a little rain earlier, but not bad. But with my frame sitting on top of this frame, it doesn't seem to be a problem. In fact, it seems very controlled. The bike is a pleasure to ride. It feels, you know, reasonable under you. It has enough mass to where you can do your thing without feeling like you're towering over it. You're not going to think you're on a Harley, and that's okay. The question is, what are you looking for in a motorcycle? I'm going to tell you that this motorcycle here, and I'm going to do a video here soon on why this is the best beginner bike for advanced riders of any motorcycle ever made. And it really is. This motorcycle is very special So let's talk about the specs. The specs are as follows.
The MSRP on the 2019 650X were $8,399. Now I will tell you, I was out the door for $7,000. Engine type is a 645cc liquid-cooled, fuel-injected double overhead cam, 4-stroke, 90-degree V-twin with 4 valves per cylinder. The horsepower at the crank, 71.6 horsepower at 8,700 RPMs with a measurement of 45.4 pound-feet of torque at 8,000 RPMs. The transmission is 6-speed, and it does have a nice gear shift indicator so that you know what gear you are in. The final drive, of course, is a chain, 41 millimeter conventional front fork. The rear suspension is a link type with a single shock that's only preload adjustable. That needs to be upgraded for someone my size. The front brake, dual 4-piston caliper, twin disc ABS, and they are Nissan calipers. The rear brake, a single 1-piston caliper, also Nissan. The front wheel, a 120/70/17. The rear, 160/60/17. The rake, 25 degrees. The trail, 4.1 inches. The wheelbase, 56.9 inches. Seat height, 31.1 inches, with a curb weight of 437 pounds and fuel capacity of 3.8 gallons.
All right, so the specs aren't real impressive, as you can tell. But is there more to a motorcycle than just a simple horsepower number? And I'm going to tell you, yes, there is. So let's talk about a few of those things. Number one, the SV650, whether it's the ABS, the X, or the standard SV, all of them have the same power plant, the same chassis. So you're talking about some handlebar variations, a piece of plastic, and ABS. That's the only difference in these motorcycles. They're all identical other than that. So let's talk about the fun factor. This motorcycle is fun to ride. For those who like to go out and just wrap up the miles and go, this is the motorcycle. If you want to get out on the road and ride a little aggressively or just get out and cruise, this is the motorcycle for you. It's got enough power. I've done a braking comparison with this and the Can-Am Spyder and a car to show you the differences. This bike has exceptional braking, and I'm just going to do something here. So I just stopped, not real abruptly. I got nothing behind me. But anyway, you can see here, you can do a stop without putting your feet down, and 0-60. You can see the bike will go, man. For a small CC twin cylinder bike, this little bike will roll, and it sounds great. The engine sounds great. Even with the stock exhaust, the engine has a mechanical presence to it that is just wonderful. So the fun factor on this particular motorcycle is absolutely off the scale. Another thing that makes this bike great is the fact that it has controllable power. Can you lose control? You can lose control of any motorcycle. But the bike has a power band that as you ride it, it is very controlled feeling. It's very confidence inspiring. The bike is lightweight and nimble, so when you lean into a turn, it goes, it flicks. It's really, really nice. Well, I sure wish these roads were dry. Man, I wanted to get out here and thrash a little bit. But some of these curves, they're a little damp with some sand out here. They'll make you pee in your britches a little bit. Another thing that makes the SV wonderful for someone that is wanting to start riding at a young age, or an older guy that wants to get something that's going to be more spirited and fun, is parts availability and the cost of maintenance, man. Parts are really available for these motorcycles. If you go on Revzilla or Cycle Gear, or you walk into a Suzuki shop, there are all kinds of companies, TST Industries and those type companies that make a lot of parts for the SV. Exhaust systems, whether you're wanting to retune things, everything is available for the SV. So parts acquisition is awesome, just awesome. Another thing that I find appealing that some may find not so much, the simplistic nature of this motorcycle. You don't see a lot of fancy things on this motorcycle. Apart from ABS, there's really not a lot here. It's a cable-driven throttle. It's Nissan brakes, a non-adjustable clutch lever, chain drive, 650cc twin. It's all put down with a simple chain drive. The bike is just simplicity. It's absolute simplicity, which is so refreshing. When you pull the seat off and you start replacing things, like putting a tail tidy on it and those sorts of things, you can get to things, you can work on things, you can relays and all these things that are available when you start putting LED lights on things and that sort of stuff. It's all readily available for the SV, and that's why you need to buy one. So you can see in third gear, you'll wrap right up to 60 easily. Now, I did a track day on this bike, as I said earlier, and this bike handled it well. I went in on the stock rubber, and the rubber that was on this bike was actually a very hard compound, and one of the mechanics up at a local shop was actually concerned. He was a little concerned about me riding on these tires, and I told him I just won't give it all the beans, but I'm going to tell you the tires performed well, and a lot of it may have had to do with the track temperature. It was very, very hot, so everything was a little more tacky than normal. These tires would probably be way too hard of a compound on a winter day with what came on here. So, but the bike handles well. It's like, again, confidence inspiring, easy to work with on the track for an unexperienced rider or an experienced rider. I had a message earlier today from a gentleman who, I believe he said he was 73 years old and he's going to go out. He said he sold his motorcycle 4 years ago and that he feels like he died 4 years ago. And that he had watched a video that I had made, Am I Too Old to Ride? And I simply, I better slow my butt down. But he watched a video that I made, Am I Too Old to Ride? And the answer is no, he's not. So he's going out, he's searching, he's doing his thing, and he said he already feels more alive. So the SV650X, if you're a big guy, if you're a little guy, if you're a young woman or a young man, an older woman, an older man, knock yourself out. I just don't think you can go wrong. With the price, with the performance, with everything that this motorcycle is, you're guaranteed when you return to the garage to have a smile on your face every single time. I love that. I love that. All right, we'll be doing some videos here real soon on some chain maintenance on this motorcycle, and we will get that up hopefully in the next week or so. So I want you to do me a favor though. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to like this video and share it with your friends. Keeps the good content coming. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Remember, this channel is as much about life, philosophy, motorcycles, and everything in between. This is the Coach Bob 3 channel, and it is designed for anyone who is into anything. If you're into being happy and living a fulfilled life, you're in the right place. Well, there you have it, my friends. A little review on the SV650X. 2 thumbs up from the Coach Bob 3 channel. This motorcycle delivers. It absolutely delivers every single time. Miles and smiles. All right, well, I want you to do me a favor this week. Go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams. It could be an SV650. Eat right. Take care of yourself, and remember, yeah, if you ain't having fun, you're doing it wrong. We'll see you on the road real soon. I could be on an SV650, I could be on a Triumph, I could be on a Can-Am Spider, or anything in between. You just never know, but I'll see you out there. Keep a lookout for me. I'll be the guy with the big smile on that bald head. Woohoo! 1,001 miles, there we are. Woohoo!